Good evening, everybody. You are chilling with Kenny C. Just literally a week before Thanksgiving. So before you get the stuffing and the turkey and all the food and getting that all up in your bellies, just sit back, man. Join me and my friends here representing Lexington, Kentucky, Central Kentucky. Three-fifths of the band known as Wicked Peace. I am joined with Amanda. I'm joined with Tanner and Jared right here, right now. How's it going?
Going great.
It's
Glad to be here.
Thank you, thank you. So, how are y'all feeling?
it's this is always a crazy time of year.
No doubt.
But one thing's for sure is anytime we get together to like make music, that's always a good feeling.
Yes, sir.
True, true. Um, Now, fellas, I see the holiday lights in the background.
Yeah.
So that's looks nice. Look real nice. Um, so Wicked Pieces joining me this evening, three-fifths of them. I seen y'all perform a few times. I think the last time I seen you perform was at the Pearl this past summer, I believe. Um, that's always one of my favorite places to go for live music. I jokingly call it a live music sanctuary. It must be because of that logo at the stage area, kind of gets
No
the church
doubt.
vibes.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's just me.
I
Uh,
like it too. We enjoy playing there.
Mm-hmm.
so I'm super excited to have y'all here tonight. Talk about how that Wicked Peace got together. How did y'all got started as a band?
So that's a story that started in college. We actually all went to Morehead State. The whole all five-fifths of us attended there, but me and Patrick, who's not with us tonight, but he's our guitarist. We shared a dorm room while our freshman year of college, and um, just one of those things. We hearing each other play guitar through the dorm room wall, and we kind of jammed a couple times here and there. But it wasn't until we started like getting together and like writing music and kind of taking it more seriously that we're like, hey, we should start a band. So that was it. We started Wicked Peace. I guess my sophomore year of college, and my sister Amanda, who's on here, she joined us pretty much right away, and we kind of did a little bit of lineup hopping around, but we settled in with Jared here towards the end of college, and then Matt shortly thereafter, and that's kind of been the hub of Wicked Peace, that we've kind of, I guess that's probably been the longest tenured lineup of the band at this point, because we've been together for a few years just with this five, so that's kind of in a nutshell how we kind of got rolling. College, pretty much in one word.
College.
I remember that when you and Patrick got together and then you came to me and he said, you're gonna be in the band and you're gonna sing and write songs. And I was like, I don't know. I was scared, but he pretty much made me do it, and then now I love it.
Gotta love the camaraderie and especially in college,
Yeah.
because when you go to college, you gotta have that crew, which you gotta have that the posse, clique, whatever term you want to use. You gotta have the group of people that you're gonna go through this experience together, and who would have thought that it would lead to this incredible band that I'm in the presence of this evening, and just an incredible band, giving y'all a spread of some pop and a combination of pop and rock, put it all together and like a nice gumbo, if you will.
Yeah.
And when I saw y'all perform at the Borough, I was hooked. I was hooked on the set from song to song. Y'all sound very unique. Y'all sound incredible. Y'all was very entertaining in between songs. The jokes and everything, just laugh and smiles. I was like, man, why didn't I see this band a long time ago? Because I see y'all names all the time. I just haven't been to a show until the Borough show earlier months ago. So better late than never. And
Yeah,
so,
we're glad to have
um,
you.
so y'all have released multiple projects
Yes.
in these last several years. I think the last full length was back in 2019, right around that time frame. So just, and I hear that y'all are in the works of some new music, slowly but surely. How's the new music coming along?
It's we're getting to that tail end of the process. So this is going to be our second full length. It's not as long as the first one, so but it's a true full length, 8 or 9, 10 songs, and we've been kind of just working on it slowly over pretty much the whole second half of 2021 on to now. Um, and it's going pretty good. I actually, right before we got on, I've got some of the stuff pulled up because we've got this little spreadsheet. We're kind of checking off instrumentation and like songs as we go. So it's like color coded green and red. So there's a lot of green showing up, which is good. That means we're in that final stages. We're really excited though to put it out. It's just been like we're like, why rush it at this point? Like we're not going anywhere. We're all pretty much settled into what we're doing, and we're just like, let's just take our time, come up with a product that we're happy to put out and not rush it. So we're in that point though where it's almost done. I think it's almost ready.
Mhm.
That's awesome. I'm very intrigued and definitely look forward to giving it a listen. And let's just say it's tentatively scheduled for 2023, at least
Yeah.
penciling in. So at least we know it's at least that
Yeah.
seemed like a possibility, 2023. So new music from Wicked Peace is coming next year. So
Safe to say. Yeah.
safe to say. So we can pencil it in at least.
Let's do it.
So for people that's been following your music since the beginning, what could people expect from this new project?
Now that's an interesting question. Because there's been lots of I wouldn't say a lot. There's been many stylistic changes with Wicked Peace's music over the years. I joined in about the third or fourth year of the band's existence.
Maybe
Yeah, somewhere in there.
somewhere in that range.
And before then, there was a lot of like kind of punky, rocky, a little like folk influence and things, very acoustic. And then as things went on, it actually kind of like branched out a little more. We got some like funky stuff and some like stuff that bridges off into straight hip hop. Some stuff that like goes into metal and such. So this album is a little more focused on creating the magic of music live. The Rock and Roll Race Car was really just like a creativity explosion. We had just reformed this lineup in early 2019. There's a lot of energy, and so we we recorded that in 2 months. Actually, maybe it was 1 month. It happened like so bam fast, but it was stars aligning. Stars just aligned differently for this one, so we wanted to make sure that we could play everything on this one live because the other one was very beautiful and fancy, but we can't have a full string orchestra with us every show. So this one is expect a little more, I don't know, a little more earthiness to it.
I like it.
A little more like deeper rock and roll roots, a little more bluesiness, and a little more funk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like that, Jared.
Great explanation, Jared.
I listened to Jared. Yes.
Yeah.
Somehow the Jared commercial just popped in my head.
I like this Jared better.
Yeah. The Kentucky portion of
Yeah.
Jared. That is a great description as far as the direction that Wicked Peace is going with this new project. Very bluesy, rock and roll rooted. Gonna get all sorts of variety in between. So I'm very intrigued with this new project. So do you all have a title, or is it to be determined?
We are not okay, so we're not sure what the title is going to be listed as online, but we're toying with the concept of the album is the color blue. So we don't know if we're going to call it the Blue Album or if we're just going to call it our Wicked Peace and have the blue color scheme. But we've got the idea that the cover of it is going to be blue. That's pretty much where we're at. So we've been calling it the Blue Album, but I don't know if it's going to be like a Beatles thing where it's really called Wicked Peace, but we know it as the Blue Album, or maybe we'll just call it the Blue Album. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm not sure yet, but that's the concept for it.
Yeah, so that's a good suggestion.
Yeah.
I think the latest single 2021 that y'all recorded has the word blue in it.
Yeah.
So Paint Me Blue is the latest single. Just came out February of 2021. So that's a good consideration. I'll definitely say.
Yeah.
So Amanda, I'll lead this question to you. You know, just obviously being the band, being the female, holding it down for the ladies.
Yeah.
Just holding it down, just rocking it
That's
and
sweet.
everything, and having the guys just walking with you, jamming with you, having that chemistry. It's band groups, regardless of the genre, it's very, very important to have that chemistry and the camaraderie. So that has to feel good, like when you with the guys and you were doing the set and y'all doing song for song and just doing that guitar solo and you smiling and everything. Like, what's that feeling like? Just being with these guys, um, you know, being part of this journey with you.
I think it's pretty one of my favorite things is that I'm with Tanner, who's my brother. So that's really fun. We're really close. We're really good friends. And it just feels like hanging out with some of your closest friends. Always laughing, always joking around. Sometimes their jokes are too gross, but other than that, it's great. I mean, we're all really good friends and we just have a good time together.
I like the fist pump when you said the jokes are gross. I like it. So it's like,
I have to
hey,
tone it
man.
down sometimes.
Yeah, so that's something else. I'm super excited to be joining with Wicked Peace here on the show. Um, this new album is coming. Super excited about that. Um, so what's some of your favorite memories, favorite moments in the history of Wicked Peace? What's some of whether it's a show, whether it's a song or anything particular, what stands out as far as favorite moments in the history of Wicked Peace?
My favorite show was the album release show for Rock and Roll Race Car, I would say. My husband Adam is the manager and he we all designed a bunch of stickers and like cool things, decorations for the album. We had like little race car flags for people in the audience. So that was my favorite. It was really fun.
I'll say a lesser recalled memory for a show was the first show that Jared played with us, which we have this like awesome photo set of so we can look back on it. But Jared was like not in the band yet. We were looking for a bass player, and we didn't even know each other. We literally had met like once or twice beforehand. And so we played the show. It was in Georgetown. It was was it the Kite Festival?
Yeah.
It was at the Georgetown Kite Festival on like a big, like kind of like a fancy truck bed stage, but it was nice. And Jared just came in and rocked it out. And I remember that was an awesome day. I bought a fur coat beforehand at a thrift shop.
That's right.
We ate a bunch of hot dogs at a hot dog stand, and then we played that show. That was a good classic memory. It's hard to pick out specific shows, because you're in the moment and it feels awesome, but it's like I don't know, it's overwhelming. But that is a good one to remember because I'm like, man, this guy's got it. He's holding it down.
That was, oh man, that was a cool day. I have at that time I was studying like classical music, so to get away from that stiffiness to play like rock and roll with people that would become my friends, that was cool. I have this is an interesting memory. We call it the greatest gig never played. And so back in 2019, around that time too, that we were like powering into a rock and roll race car, uh, there was a gig set in
Pigeon Forge.
Pigeon Forge. That's right, at the at a certain rocking cafe. And we had planned this massive show. So there's another person that was had already been scheduled to play bass for that. So I was going to do auxiliary stuff like backing vocals, piano, some tuba for a national anthem introduction. So we spend hours and hours practicing this. We spend like 3 hours packing up the van before we go. And you know, we're just ready. Everything's there. Our skills are together, our minds are melded. And so it gets to time for you know, setting up at this cafe, this rocking cafe, and we get everything set up. And so now we're just waiting for the sound person to come, because that's, you know, that's the next part. They just like hook us into the board so that way the whole restaurant can hear us, etc. 15 minutes pass, no sign. 30 minutes pass. I go outside to smoke a cigarette. I'm like, no, it'll be fine. An hour passes, and we're like, okay, what's going on? So behind the scenes, the sound person had just like went AWOL. They couldn't get a hold of them, couldn't get a hold of any backups. One valiant person there volunteered to try to run the sound for us, but that just wasn't going to work with that show. That's like trying to, I don't know, cook a 10-course meal when you know how to like fry eggs. But anyway, so that was a whole hullabaloo, and we didn't end up playing the gig, and we went back and to our cabin that we had got for a few days, and we were just kind of out, you know, little sad and such. And then we thought, you know what, screw it, we're going to use this time to make an awesome music video. And we did. And actually, if you want to view, anyone wants to view the results of that, it's called High Road on our YouTube channel.
Yeah.
But that was a crazy time. Greatest gig never played.
It was still good. It was still fun story. The story's probably better than the gig would have been,
Yeah.
honestly.
Now we,
It was fun.
Y'all gonna make me wonder where the sound person is to this day after.
I'm not sure.
Just, man, but circumstances comes to the fore. You know, I've heard, you know, usually the sound person is standing in one spot, just making sure everybody sounds good and instrument sounds good. But man, that was quite interesting. But yeah, I made it work nonetheless. So and did you say it was a kite festival, as in, you know,
Yeah,
kite festival?
kites. So we were playing, and there was a bunch of, if you could look out, and there was just a bunch of people flying kites. I don't know
Yeah.
if they have it anymore in Georgetown, but they had it that year, and it was a lot of fun. It was a cool environment. Everybody was relaxed. You know, they're flying kites, so they're just like
Yeah.
really chill. I mean, it's like a really relaxing thing to do, I feel like.
Yeah, it's very peaceful.
Yeah.
Unless somebody wanting and yelling and screaming, you're trying to enjoy silence, then that just ruins the whole
Yeah.
experience. But that's near no there. So man, check out Wicked Peace. Check them out on wickedpeaceband.com. Check out the old music. Check out all the music. Check out the merch. Check out everything. New music is on the way. All the social media sites is on there. Future shows, upcoming shows. So y'all got any, maybe 1 or 2 more shows left in you this year, or you just resting for the whole holidays?
We do have one more show planned for this year. It is planned for
December 3rd.
December 3rd. We're playing at Henry Clay's in Lexington. It's our first time playing there, so that should be a fun one. I think that's it for the year, and then we're focused on finishing up this album, you know, getting through the holidays, and then hopefully, you know, around spring of next year we can kind of start getting out there again.
Cool, cool. So here's a question that I usually ask pretty much all the musicians on this show, especially as it pertains to a band. Um, what do you consider some of your musical influences, whether it's indie artists or mainstream, that has inspired y'all, whether um, obviously individually or collective? Who's some of your musical influences?
Amanda's got a really timely answer for this, probably.
Yeah, mine's Taylor Swift. She came out when I was in high school. We were like close to the same age. That's why I started playing guitar and like writing my own songs anyway. So any female pop artist, I really enjoy those. I think everybody kind of likes something different though.
Yeah. Jared?
Yeah, I have I was just thinking about there's a lot I could name, but one person that has always been a kind of a icon, I guess, if you of mine is Lane Staley from um the late Lane Staley from Alice in Chains. I don't know. I just always connected with him, and he always had this really like dark but powerful energy about him. I mean, makes sense with his background and struggle with addiction, everything, but there's just something in his voice that was raw and powerful and in his like presence. So that always makes me think about like my bass playing to like have a beautiful, raw, deep, dark presence to it.
I love it, Jared. I grew up listening to classic rock, 70s and 80s. That was what my parents listened to, like Fleetwood Mac, Aerosmith, bands like that. But now more recently, because I grew up, my dad was never into the Beatles, and I kind of just listened to whatever he listened to. So I never really listened to the Beatles growing up until the last. I mean, of course, everyone knows the Beatles and knows the big songs, but like I didn't really get super into them until the last few years. But now I'm like, they're obviously a giant influence on all of us because they influenced everything else. Like I feel like now that I've listened to all their stuff, I'm like, wow, the Beatles literally it's in everything that we listen to. So I would say them. I got
Yeah.
2 Beatles posters there's one on the wall. So
Okay.
hopefully that shows through in this album because that's kind of been in the Beatles phase of of my journey. So and they're the best. Can't undeniable.
It's true. There's no contest.
They're the best.
And the Beatles, 19 number one albums.
Nuts.
I mean, less longevity, and obviously they all have evolved individually, have had their own solo success as well.
Mm-hmm.
So, Amanda, now that you put it out there that you are a Swiftie, so Miss Swift had a busy few days, or fellow Swifties have had a busy few days trying to get these tickets. And last I checked, I'm guessing the sale kind of shut down because things got out of control.
Yeah.
So,
It was insane. I got everybody, all my friends, my parents to sign up to try to get that pre-sale code. We got one code. My dad got it, and I sat on the computer for 7 hours on Tuesday like a crazy person. I was lucky. I did get tickets, but I mean, I've heard stories. People were checking out and it kicked them out, and then they don't get tickets. I don't know what I would have done if I would have been in there and then didn't get tickets. I think I would have had been taken to the hospital. But I got them, so I'm very relieved. But yeah, it was crazy. It was unbelievable.
she went from arenas to stadiums now. That just tells you how evolved. And I will confess, I have grown a profound respect for Taylor Swift. Not just because she's a mega star as an artist and standing up for good things and things of that nature. And this may come across a bit obvious, but odd. But I'm a fan of Taylor just because I watched the award shows that she be there and she be jamming to the hip hop performances. Like she always like
Yeah.
it's just
She'll always stand
Yeah.
up and dance, and
Yeah.
she has a good time. It seems like she supports a lot of the other artists,
yeah,
so
yeah.
that's
I
nice.
mean, she welcome to the cookout anytime. Just
Yeah.
bring that same energy. Bring that same energy. And we like Tay Tay. At least I do. Um and on that note, it is a very pleasure of having you three on the show. Tell the fellow bandmates I say hello. This is 3/5 of Wicked Peace. You can check them out on wickedpeaceband.com. All the social medias on there, all the merch, all the music, including their latest project came out in 2019. The latest single, um, 2021, Paint the Blue, that's on all the platforms as well. And their next show will be at Henry Clay, a spot at Lexington on the 3rd. So if you want to get a chance to see Amanda and the fellas before they say toodaloo to 2022, yes, that did rhyme, by the way. You can check them out. Go show your support. Support indie music. I know a lot of people are wild over these Grammy nominations. I get that. Congrats to all the nominees, whatnot. But just remember, all these nominees that you celebrating and praising and whatnot, they all started as indie artists too. And some may still be indie artists to this day. But what I'm saying is support indie music and you'll feel good about yourself doing it. I've done it and I'm giving these amazing talent a platform to do put themselves out there and their talents and just love and passion for music. So um to Amanda, Tanner, and the Jared. We're not even gonna acknowledge that commercial Jared. He seems like a
Exactly.
fraud. Seems like a fraud at this point. But great having three of you here. Thank you so much. And I might make my way to Henry Clay on the 3rd. I might
down.
come through.
Yeah.
So we can introduce ourselves because I know we know each other, the mutual friends, but we haven't really talked, because a lot happened at these shows. A lot of people around. So hopefully I'll make it there on the 3rd at Henry Clay and see y'all.
That'd be cool.
So thank you, fellas and lady, for being on. Continued success. I'm looking forward to this new album. It's gonna be fire. All the fire emojis.
Yeah.
And Jared is a trip. Y'all take care. Y'all enjoy the rest of your week. Enjoy your Thanksgiving with your family and loved ones. Thanks again for your time this evening.
Thank
Thanks
you.
for having us.
All right. You have a good night.
You too. See you.
Be safe.
All right.